Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. Today we're taking a look into what would the person on your mind say to you at this time, just whenever you're seeing this. We have 3 piles, and we're going to look into your person, where they're at, what they're doing, their energy towards you, and their thoughts and feelings towards you, and then also get some messages from the Hermit Tarot, channel messages Oracle, and then we'll get some Oracle cards of advice from Spirit in regards to this situation. So, pile 1, the Centennial Tarot, the Centennial edition. Pile 2, the Wonderland Tarot. And then pile 3 is the Star Seeker Tarot. So you can pause it if you need another minute to make your choice, but we'll get right into it. Pile 1, we're looking into what would the person on your mind say to you right now. Okay, so you have the person on your mind, where they're at, what they're doing, their energy towards you, their thoughts, and their feelings. Ooh, so we have the Ace of Swords. So you could be hoping for communication here. You could feel as though you've been in the dark in regards to the situation for a long time. You would really like to see forward movement or progress after a period of like not really knowing what's up. Or you could be, it's like you're not fully in separation or isolation away from this person, but you're not necessarily together or communicating at this time, or it's like you don't really know what's going on. You don't really know where you stand or where you're at. You would like this person to like let you in or offer you something emotionally, but they've like kept you in the dark or kept you in limbo as far as where the direction that this was heading or the status. Like the official status here is like there was always, like you could always sense with their energy there's some kind of like divide to where you it's like you didn't necessarily fully know what was up with them, where the connection was headed, what direction it was going in, like their full energy towards you, their full intentions towards you. You it's like you'd like to come forward and communicate with them, but you maybe just don't know how, or you don't know how to open up to them about how you feel. So you've been kind of waiting to see if they would come forward to open up or offer you some sort of clarity. Something about the dynamics where you feel like there's not a lot you can do. You may have like put the ball in their court at some point or something. You feel like you can't go back on that. So or your person here with the Nine of Wands. Where they are right now with the Eight of Swords in the reverse, and what they're doing with the Wheel of Fortune. So they're going through some sort of a major shift in their life that is forcing them out of their comfort zone and forcing them to be more vulnerable, but is like not their choice. So their circumstance around them is shifting or changing. In some way, they're not in the same position they were before. They don't have the same comfortability or the same status, or there's something about their life where they don't have the same something in order to like fall back on and protect themselves. So they're being like pushed to the forefront or like forced to face something head on or to confront something that they feel uncomfortable confronting, but it's like not by their choice. It's like if it was up to them, they would have continued to like stay stuck or stay in a position where there's like nothing that they could do about it, in order to avoid like having to take accountability or having to like face something head on, confront something, go through something. It's like they would have rather continue to like just ignore something or allow it to be the way that it is. So it's like the way that they've communicated with you could be a direct result of this, is just how they handle stuff in their life in general. They don't like to have those uncomfortable conversations where they face stuff head on. So it's like it's not even really personal to you. It's just this is just kind of how they are, how they operate. Like they like to do things, they kind of like to take the easy way out, or they like it whenever the situation comes across like there's nothing that they can do about it. It's out of their hands, it's out of their control, or yeah, it's like it is what it is. It's not their fault. But it's like this is no longer working for them anymore. Like they can no longer pretend like their hands are tied or like there's nothing that they can do to change their circumstances. Again, they're being like forced. It's like everything's being brought to the surface. They're being forced to confront things, face things, deal with things, maybe even confront people that they like hurt or wronged in the past. It's like they're going to try to have their guard up and like be a victim, act like they're the victim, but this isn't going to work out for them anymore. um yeah, they could have people in their life who are kind of like turning on them or like seeing through certain games that they play, so it's like not working for them anymore. um so yeah, that's just kind of what they're going through generally. So yeah, it makes sense. It's definitely like the way they've communicated with you is definitely not personal. It's just they operate in kind of an unhealthy communication style. Yeah, so their energy towards you, we have the King of Wands and the Page of Wands. So I feel like they're the Page of Wands, but they wanted to convince you that they're the King of Wands, or it's like they want to be the King of Wands and they want to be able to offer this type of energy to others, but they're really still at the Page of Wands. They're a little bit more emotionally immature. They're still like learning and figuring things out in a lot of ways, and they could be really insecure about that, and so they kind of put up like a front, if you will. um it's like, yeah, they really want to, they'd really desire to be able to actually embody the energy that they like tried to convince you that they do, or that they want others to believe that they do. But it's like they're very insecure. It's like deep down they know they're not actually to that level, or they can't like follow through with like the game that they talk, and they're really still like at this page level. They know that they're not very like experienced in a lot of different ways, and so they have to like project an image that is more stable, more grounded, more solid, more mature than they really are. They could just act out of their ego a lot here. It's like deep down they feel very like lost and misguided, and like they don't really know what they're doing or where they're going. They're still like learning and just like trying to figure it out and piece everything together, but they don't want people to see that on the outside, like especially you. So if they are really interested in you or they do have strong feelings towards you, they do admire you a lot here. It's like they look up to you as like a spiritual leader or like this very stable figure in their lives. It's like they're not going to show you that. They're going to purposely look away from you and act as though they're the ones holding that power in the connection, because their ego takes over. Like they're too insecure to kind of show you this, like what they perceive to be like a smaller, weaker, more vulnerable part of themselves. They don't want to show you how much they really look up to you or admire you, or like how they really see you as like this kind of guide that they carry with them or something. They see you as this very like spiritually grounded person, or they're very like attracted or drawn to you, and so they have to almost like look away from you or come across as very cold, in order to like mislead you from being able to see through them or see like the real them. They have like a front or a mask that they put up with you especially, but it could be because they especially admire you or they especially look up to you in some way. um so that's interesting. And their thoughts towards you, we have the Lovers and the Strength. So they could think that some of the more harsh or cold decisions that they've made were for the best. Again, they operate out of their ego a lot. So, from their perspective, they feel like justified, or in their minds, they think that certain choices and decisions that they made, they feel justified, or yeah, that they were like, they perceive things as though they need to like protect their ego first, or come across as like this strong figure. So they're more worried about like the way they're perceived on the outside, and so they feel justified that the choices and decisions that they made were protecting that like outward image. Because yeah, that's kind of like the most important thing, is like keeping that intact or something. It's like that's what keeps them grounded or like keeps them together. um so that's how they justify like certain choices and decisions that they made, is like they had to protect this certain part of themselves. And so they see this, they in their mind they feel like the way they handled things in regards to this relationship makes them strong, or like makes them stronger, or like they could like try to convince themselves that they're like stronger than you, or they're the strong one and they had to make like the tough choices or something. um Kind of weird. So it's like they're not able to really see your side, or like how confused you are, or like that you don't have a lot of clarity in the situation. They're just coming at it like, well, I had to make these certain choices in order to like protect what I'm building, or I had to be like this strong person. And um so yeah, I'm getting it's like they only see the choices and decisions that they've made in the relationship through this like very narrow lens that their ego allows them to see, of like whether they made good choices is based off of their ability to protect that outward image that they're putting out there, that makes them feel or have that sense of security in the world. So in their mind, they're like, okay, I did a good job of protecting that, so I did the right thing here. Like I did good. I'm the strong one. Um, they could convince themselves that like spirit is like backing them or working with them to help protect them or something, so they feel like really fully justified in like the choices and decisions that they made. They feel like they had to make like really hard choices, but they did the right thing. um Yeah, with their feelings, we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. So they could have made choices that were, in your opinion, selfish. They could have made choices that really put themselves first. They're really only considering how things were going to affect them or impact them. They're only like protecting their own sense of security in the world, if you will. And they're not able to see like other people's vulnerability or what other people have to lose as well. So from the outside perspective, they move very carelessly or like selfishly, but from their perception, that makes them like a really strong person. Or yeah, they're able to like always protect their interests or come out of things without losing a lot. And so from their perspective, they're like doing the right thing, or they're doing a good job of like, yeah, keeping themselves secured or taking care of themselves. So yeah, it's all tied back to like how they can take care of themselves or meet their needs, feel secure and stable or in the environment or the people around them, or like be perceived as like this stable or secure person. Very interesting. So let's get some zodiac signs. So we have Leo, also Four of Earth, Sun, and Capricorn. I thought that was the Sun card, but so Capricorn, Leo, Strength on the bottom of the deck, which makes a lot of sense because I was picking up on just a lot of, in this case, it's like coming through as a lot of ego, kind of like a misplaced. So yeah, they could be a fire sign, Leo, have heavy fire energy. We also had Capricorn that popped through. We have Scorpio, death, water signs, and the moon. So Cancer energy, more water. So you could be a water sign, and then they could be fire, and earth, fire and Capricorn, or you could have heavy water. So it's like you're a lot more sensitive, so you perceive things very differently. But it doesn't have to be. So only take it if it resonates. Leave whatever does not. So we're gonna get some messages. Using the Hermit Tarot. Let's see, what would they say to you? Okay, too many. Ooh, so if your family won't like me, the bottom of the deck, and the 3. So if there is a third party, or if you feel like there may be a third party, or you feel like they're interested in other people, or they're keeping their options open for other people, this could be kind of at the root of their insecurities here. You make my heart full. They are waiting for you, Ace of Cups. And do you even see me that way? So this person obviously really, really does care for you, and that could come through in their communication. So that's why it's like so confusing why they don't like fully solidify things, or they don't like fully take things to the next level, or it's like they won't fully let you in or let you see them completely. And so then they can't take the relationship to the next level because that would force them to then be like vulnerable. Um, so they could just keep it at a place where they feel like comfortable, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's like that's why you've been so confused, or you've been really holding out and hopeful that it's going to move forward in a positive direction at some point, because the way they communicate with you is really positive, and it would be here if they could say anything, they would say it's like they feel like there's something very special about you, and so they are kind of like holding out for you in the same way that you're holding out for them. Um, but from your perspective, it seems like they're holding out or waiting for like another person or someone that they connect with more than you, but it's more coming from a place of them being very insecure, and so they act out of their ego. um it's like they're just not fully secure that like you would choose them should you see like all of them and where they're at fully and completely right now. So yeah, it's just like a lot of insecurities that come through that cause them to act a certain type of way. We get some oracle cards. Serendipity, fate. The stars are aligned as everything comes together in perfect timing. The signs you are receiving are accurate in telling you to move forward. Expect positive and ferocious outcomes with relationships and careers. The key elements, amplified. When you combine all the elements of nature into who you are, magic happens. Trust this lucky card to show you everything is in alignment to expand. Now is the time to embark on an incredible journey by merging your past, present, and future as a multidimensional person. Distorted view, perspective. A change in perspective is needed to view you or the situation with compassion. The root core of pain is often associated with how you may view yourself or the situation from a wounded place. Choosing to heal this brings the broken pieces back together to create a healthy viewpoint. Stuck energy, alignment. Your body is requiring energy work to get back in alignment by balancing your chakras and clearing your auric field. You have stuck energy that can be caused by holding on to pain or having resistance to let new energy in. Get grounded and reconnect to your body once again. Okay, so you got look for beauty and look to the distance. On the bottom of the deck, you got Swamp, which is the draw another card. So I did. It says look for beauty. So your first card, and then draw another card. Or yeah, and then draw another card. And I did look to the distance. So there's more beauty ahead than you would realize, or you may have kind of known this all along, so you've been kind of holding out for this. And so it's like Spirit is validating or confirming your intuition in regards to this situation. I'll get one more oracle card. So you have retreat and self-love. So I'll read both of those for you. This is a good time to retreat into your safe place, a quiet time to gather your resources for what's to come. Work on making your body, mind, and soul as strong and unencumbered as possible. This is the card that urges you to get your ducks in a row for the changes that lay ahead. Changes sometimes come fast and furious. Even when they are longed for, it can take us unprepared. By drawing this card, you are advised to prepare for some changes coming your way soon. Alternately, take this time to process the changes that you could have recently gone through. So take it however it resonates. So I just saw the one underneath it, and I feel like I should read that too. So this card's struggle. Struggle is part of this life, so much so that you probably know people who seem to constantly attract one struggle after another into their lives. This is their comfort zone. While struggle is natural, it's natural only so far as it lends itself to learning lessons and overcoming interpersonal challenges. Beneath every one of these struggles is the gift of enlightenment, the satisfaction of a lesson learned. Use this knowledge as the light at the end of your dark tunnel. What lesson is this struggle teaching you? Alternately, a brief setback. This situation will start to right itself. Yeah. This is a brief, or no, okay. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. After a brief setback, this situation will start to right itself. So yeah, you've been kind of in the dark here, but there are many changes ahead. So Spirit's giving you this message to give you an opportunity to prepare. And then also it's 40 and then 41 are your cards. So we read the retreat, your bottom of the deck, and then this is the next card in the book, which is kind of funny. We always try to think so highly of the ones we love. We even give strangers the benefit of the doubt. But when it comes to self-love, many of us fall woefully short. To love oneself is to accept imperfection, embrace learning, and battle through the all-consuming fires of self-doubt in order to find the energetic balance inside each of us. Beware of the small insidious voice that perhaps repeats the negative self-assessment you had as a child. Maybe an ex-lover or a friend put a label on you that you've accepted. These self-judgments have no place in a whole healthy relationship that is vital to have with yourself. It's only when you find your love for yourself that you can sincerely offer love to others. I feel like you and this other person are both going through this because they have a lot of insecurities that are coming through too. Yeah, some of that I just read, I feel like could definitely be for you as well. So yeah, that's all I have for pile 1. If you would like a more personal reading, you can use the link in my description. But thank you. Hope you have a great day. pile 2, taking a look into what would the person on your mind say to you. So yeah, like I said in the intro, firstly we're getting your person, where they're at, what they're doing, their energy towards you, their thoughts and feelings, and then some zodiac signs, and then some messages, and then we'll get some oracle cards, some advice for you guys right now. So your person, where they're at, what they're doing, their energy towards you, their thoughts towards you, and their feelings towards you. Okay, so already, so with where they're at, the Queen of Hats flipped out, and then 2 other cards came out as well. And so I decided to take all 3 of them. I usually take like 1 or 2 cards for each like position, but already I was starting to pick up on this story of, with the Queen of Hats here, your person feels very disappointed with where they're at in their life right now, and they wish that they could be themselves. They feel like they can't show up as themselves, or they can't express themselves in some way. They feel disappointed. So yeah, I was already starting to get this story. And then they have the Queen of Flamingos and the Strength card underneath, and the 5 of Oysters. They could have someone in their ear, or someone in their family, like a female maternal like figure in their life specifically, who kind of puts on them like, oh, if to be a real man you got to be like this, or to be a real lady, a real woman, you have to be like this. And so it's like, however, in order to find a happy relationship you have to do this. So whoever's like coaching them, there's a lot of ego in it, and they're almost like instructing them that like in order for the world to accept them, they have to act in such a way that's going to be acceptable to the standards around them, right? It's like, this is what you have to do in order to be like happy and successful, and to like check all these boxes. So there's a lot of pressure on your person to like show up and present themselves a certain type of way. And so they have to, they could have felt like when they were younger, they just like couldn't wait to be an adult so then they could grow up and be whoever they wanted. But then once they became an adult, it's like they didn't actually know who they were, because they were always told who they should be their whole lives. And so they didn't know how to like, they maybe wore like a false mask for a little while, and it worked for them for a while. Like they got away with this for a while. They could just kind of pull stuff out of nowhere for a while and like get along with people to a certain degree. But then when it comes to like settling down more, like taking things to the next level, it's like they don't know how to do that without releasing and letting go of like all of these burdens from their past. They would have to like completely walk away from these people and around them that make them feel this way, and they don't know how to, because for some reason these people hold some sort of heavy power or influence over them. It could be like an emotional attachment, so it could be like their family or their work environment, or in order to, they feel as though in order to be successful in their work they have to like be a certain type of way. It's like at a certain point they couldn't like uphold this anymore. It was like their burden of like trying to do all of this was like too heavy to bear, and they could have like broke in a sense, and then kind of like went back or like fell back on like these people or their family. And so it's like they had to kind of go back on like who they wanted to be, or they've had to make a lot of like compromises as an adult or something, or like in the past few years they've had to make a lot of compromises in order to be like accepted or close to their family. It could have been like more important to them to have like close relationships with them than they realized when they were younger. It was like a lot harder for them to separate themselves from whatever power balance they're involved in than they realized. So at a certain point, they could have like set their feelings to the side and just started kind of like operating out of like what would make the people around them happy, or just showing up and presenting in a way that would make others or the people around them happy or satisfied. It's like they feel like they can't be their true self and then be like accepted, or be their true self and then continue to have some sort of like status or power. So it's like they maybe had to like step up and take on more responsibility within the family, and then it was kind of like, well, if you're going to be like this, then you're not going to like inherit then the this status in the family business or something. Like, you know, there was some sort of like power that other people had over them to be able to be like, well, you can't be like this because then you're not going to be successful doing this, so we're not going to give this to you. So yeah, it's like in order to be themselves, they have to sacrifice themselves. They feel like they're in this really difficult position. They're not doing a whole lot about this. Like they're not, even though they feel this way, they feel sad about this. It's like they're not doing anything to change this. They're showing up as just the Four of Flamingos. I always want to call these pelicans, but the Four of Flamingos. So they're showing up as like, they're like looking away from this and just, they're like finding a way to cope. Um, they could be even almost like medicating themselves in order to like drown out like the way they feel, or their yeah, there's just like a lot of like disappointment in the way that they have to operate. But they're just choosing to kind of relax or not take any action or push back against this, not take any action to try to like change the situation. They could like hold the key to like unlocking a different life for themselves, or like a different scenario, or like going in a different direction, but they're just choosing to be like complacent, or to just like, yeah, they're choosing not to like actively do anything to try and change this right now. They feel as though with the Page of Peppermills, it's more of this energy of like, this is all part of like learning and growing. And, you know, if I want to learn the family trade or like step up into the family business, then I have to, you know, it's like my grandfather went through these same struggles as me, and I have to learn to like take this stuff on, or something like that. Where they feel as though they have to make these certain sacrifices to learn what they need to learn in order to become this successful person, like everyone is telling them. And so then in their free time, they kind of like daydream or get lost in their own little world, because it's like the most they can do, or the closest that they can get to like expressing themselves and their more like weird, eccentric, fun, creative side. They feel as though it's just like natural to have to sacrifice those things, or put certain things that you care about to the side, and learn how to like be an acceptable member of society, if you will. But someone who's really like influenced that way of thinking, it's like they're trying to live up to certain standards, or they're trying to gain the approval of like their caretakers or something, or their family. Yeah, it's when they have like their own downtime or their own free time, they just get like caught up in their own little world. For now, this is like enough for them, because they're still in the early stages. They haven't really like taken on any responsibility yet. It's more of this like, if you want this in the future, then this is what you have to do now. So again, they feel like this is all a natural part of like growing and changing, and they feel like they have to like make certain sacrifices, put certain things that they want and care about or interesting to them to the side, and um kind of conform or like learn this the way here, even though deep down it's like they're really disappointed that they're not able to like fully express who they are and what their true interests are like all the time. They wish they could like always be in that energy, but it's like they can't. So with what they're doing, we have the Judgment in the reverse. So this is just further confirmation. It's like they're just accepting this as it is. I'm surprised even the Hangman didn't show up. It's like they're just completely accepting this for what it is, and they just feel like there's nothing they can do about it. Nothing's ever going to change. The circumstance is never going to change for them. Like they have no choice but to just like accept things for how they are. Yeah, there's no changing this. It's not going to be different. They're not in control of making the changes here, even though they like very clearly are, because there's like a key in this person's lap, but they're just choosing not to actively push back or do anything to like change their circumstances around them. They're just like accepting having to sacrifice massive parts of who they are, essentially, in order to please the people around them or to gain like the people or their around them or their family's approval or something. Yeah, that's crazy. Like it really does feel like right now they're so young they maybe can't see, or like they could be so if they're not young, it's like there's something about their mindset to where they are not able to see the long run of this, like how sacrificing massive parts of who you are is just very detrimental to yourself over time. It's like you can make live for people, other people, or make other people happy all day long, but in the end it's like really negatively impacts you. Or it's like with the Judgment in reverse, it's like they're going to be the ones that have to face the consequences of their actions, like not the people that they're like aiming to please or that they're living to please. It's like eventually they're going to have to wake up and realize that they should have put more focus and attention like onto themselves and what they desired, and like put more time and energy into like finding who they are so they have something to fall back on. Whereas like pleasing other people is like you'll never be able to be like perfect enough to meet like other people's standards if you don't have like a sense of security within yourself to fall back on, right? So their energy towards you, we have the Hermit. So they could just be like ignoring you or shutting themselves out. They're trying to like hide away from you. So they could be trying to like ignore you or pretend like it's one of those things where you could be messaging them and then they turn off their like thing to see their online status, so they're like, oh, they won't be able to see that I'm online, so it's all good. But then they're like posting something on their story, or they're like actively like snapping other people, and so their snap score is going up, and so you're something to where like they think they're hiding from you, but they're like in plain sight that they're still like right there. um so again, that could also translate to like they think they're being like deceitful, or they think they're hiding something from you. They think they're getting away with, they think that you can't see through them and see like what's really going on, or like they're the deeper reasons why they're doing something, but you can't. Like they think they're getting away with it, or that they're like convincing you, but to you you're like, okay, well, I know the real you. Like I know this isn't really you. I know you're not really happy. They could be avoiding you because they know that you see through them. So it's like they're doing everything they can to try and like mask themselves or like not be vulnerable to you, because then they know that you're going to be able to see through them, see the real them, see this like deeper disappointment within them, and instead of, you're going to see through this like facade or this show that they put on, that this is like what they want, or this is just a natural part of like what everybody kind of goes through, and call out like those deeper, more uncomfortable emotions that they don't want to deal with or look at, or that they're not doing anything about right now. So yeah, they could just be avoiding you because it's like you're able to see through them. You know the real them. Like you know what's really going on here. So with their thoughts towards you, they feel as though if they let you see them, or they spend a lot of time around you, then like right now they're doing a good job of just like being in denial about stuff, but they feel like if they like open up to you, or like they allow you to see through them, then it's going to kind of like break that. Right now they have this like kind of protective barrier, this protective wall up, in order to allow themselves to like almost be delusional, or like tell themselves a certain story, and they know if they kind of like let you in, that you're going to see through that or past that and call them out, and then they're going to have to like come back to reality, if you will, and they're no longer going to be able to like, yeah, put up this like barrier in order to like justify like what they're doing or something. And so it's going to then, yeah, it's like you're going to be able to call out like multiple different sides of them or parts of who they are, because you just know them so well. And so then it's going to change everything, or it's going to affect their ability to, it's like they're no longer going to be able to do this or operate in this way, or like go down this path, because and then also have a relationship with you. You're almost like too real, and so there's no way that you could just like go along with their like delusional story they want to tell themselves right now, if you will. You're not going to put on the rose colored glasses with them or like validate them in that energy. You're going to like call them out and be like, this isn't you, this isn't what you want, this doesn't make you happy, like you're sacrificing so much of yourself, this isn't going to be good for you in the long run. Like if they really cared about you, they'd accept you for who you are. But it's like they can't hear that stuff right now, because that's very like detrimental to their mindset, in order to be able to like continue to have these people in their life or something. It's like they can't handle like the truth, and you would be able to see through them and like call out the truth. But it's, from you, it's coming from a place of care. um so they're trying to like hide from you, and so it could be like actually seriously purposefully, or just like energetically they're trying to hide from you and like tell you something, and then you're just like sitting there like, uh-huh, okay, I know this isn't true, or I know this isn't you, but okay. And they're thinking like they're actually going to be able to like hide from you or convince you of something different, but it's like deep down they know it's like not working, or you see through them, so then they're just like avoiding you or something. Yeah, their feelings for you, they know that you know, you see through them, like you know the real them, you know their truth, like you know who they are deep down. Yeah, they definitely feel like you're just gonna see right through them, basically. And just know that this is not um like what they really want, who they really are, how they really feel. They're completely like out of balance. You're like, this is just not you, like this isn't right. um so again, they feel like they have to hide from you with the high priestess. They have to, it's like you already know, and you can already see through them anyways, but they still feel like they should try to hide from you, or like present something different to you. So we're getting some zodiac signs. So we have the Five of Water, Mars in Scorpio. So we have Scorpio coming through, water signs. Aries, the Emperor, fire energy. And the Two of Fire, Mars in Aries. So Aries, and Scorpio. So Pluto energy for sure, but lots of fire here, specifically a lot of Aries coming through in this pile, and Scorpio. And I just cut the deck. And Neptune, the Hanged One. That's funny, I was saying I'm surprised the Hangman hadn't come out. So definitely Neptune energy for sure. So let's see what they would say to you. Ooh, wrongful advice. So I feel like this is whoever is influencing them in their life to be like, oh, this is what you have to do to be happy and successful, or to be like a real so and so type of person, or, they definitely are being influenced heavy. Um, so yeah, it's like it puts them in this like to where they don't know how to make choices and decisions for themselves. It's really difficult. They go back and forth, and it's like they don't even know what they really want. They go back and forth on what they really want. So that could be why they hide from you so much, because they're just like they feel so thrown off and confused. I am in so much pain. I don't want to lose you. Yeah, it's like they really do care about you, but it's like they, because of all this pressure from someone else, it puts them in this energy of like hiding from you. So this could really affect them emotionally here. It's like they just don't know what to do, or they don't know what's best because they don't want to lose like certain other people that they care about. But it's like they're having a hard time seeing it's like you're just losing their approval, and it's like you don't need their approval, and if their love is conditional upon their approval, then that's really sad, and that's like not someone that really cares about you. But when it's your family, it can be really, really hard to come to those conclusions. It can take a lot of time, a lot of compassion, a lot of understanding, a lot of empathy, because it's like you're losing like all you've ever known in the world. I know you from somewhere, and I could be your hero, baby. Cave of Comfort, Retreat. A time is needed for self care and solitude. This is a time to redirect your life that centers within your heart. The healing starts when you align your mind, body, and soul. Olive Branch, Peace. It is imperative for your healing and soul growth to ask for forgiveness or offer forgiveness. Life is too precious to hold grudges or to feel you need to punish yourself. An opportunity is being created to move forward to set you free. Denial, deception. There is a situation that you're refusing to see clearly. Living in denial can create false scenarios to see things that are not accurate. Have the courage and discernment to dig deep into the truth of the situation. Self care, balance. Taking time to replenish your mind, body, and soul is a must. Enjoy this time to reconnect and make yourself a priority. Ask yourself what is serving me and what is taking from me. Much can be revealed when you stop putting yourself at the bottom of the list. Bella, you need to quit now. I'm so sorry, you guys. Someone must be outside my house, so quit. So your advice is sleep on it and be still. Well, that's really clear. Okay, so perception. Bella, you need to stop. Good. It's all good. With energy, sometimes a slight shift in perception is all that's needed. Remember, nature strives to retain balance. It is only our perception and labels that cause us to think otherwise. Is there a situation in your life that you are viewing from a very rigid perspective? Are you certain that you are the center of all the drama around you? Perhaps cultivating the ability to step outside the drama and see the issue from every different point of view will shift your judgment of this person or situation from intolerable to simply it is, and it is as it won't remain for so long. Letting go of the tether that holds you to a certain viewpoint also frees the situation up to go the natural way to get back into balance. Every experience you have in your lifetime has the potential to be a teaching tool. By remembering and embracing this idea, the situations you encounter become less fraught with unneeded emotion and drama. By not attaching labels or expectations to people and situations, you allow the pure divine energy to flow unimpeded. While you may have little control over what happens to you at times, you always have control over how you react. Do you react on impulse, strike out at others when you feel hurt? Do you crawl into your safe place when the world seems mean and hurtful? Face this challenge in your life head on. Be thankful for the opportunity to experience whatever is happening. Set yourself a goal of learning from every situation in your life and find that silver lining. So, your cards here with sleep on it and be still makes a lot of sense because, like, sometimes it literally just takes giving it that one day for everything to kind of shift and for us to like wake up with a whole new perspective or perception. And it's like that's when the situation starts to shift for the better, or as soon as we start to see it in a different light, then we are reacting differently, then all of a sudden everything starts to change. So yeah, we're very powerful over our circumstances in that way. So that's all I have for pile 2. If you would like a more personal reading, then you can use the link that is in my description. I hope you have a great day. Pile 3. We're taking a look into what would the person on your mind say to you. So we're going to look into the person on your mind, where they're at, what they're doing, their energy towards you, their thoughts and feelings, some zodiac signs, and then some messages, and then some oracle cards, some advice at this time. So the person on your mind. Where they're at, what they're doing, their energy towards you, their thoughts, and their feelings. So kind of back and forth on how they feel already. So we have the Seven of Swords in the reverse, the Eight of Wands in the reverse, and also the Five of Cups in the reverse. So, and the Three of Swords in the reverse. So this could be someone that hurt you in the past and you're hesitant to move forward with them because you don't know if you can trust them. You feel very, very passionate here. You have a lot of very deep, intense feelings for this person, but you don't know if you could trust them to move forward. You don't know if you should like let go of what happened in the past, or if they're a different person now, or you just are not sure. Should I move forward with them? Should I trust them? Should I let them back in? um will this like cause me to like ruin my life again, or get like put back in the same position that I was in last time I was really hurt by this person? So they could have done something to just like really betray your trust, to where now you're just so hesitant to know like what their intentions are, where they're coming from. With the Seven of Swords in the reverse, though, it does look like they've come out of whatever kind of like player heartbreak energy they were in the past. It's like they're not the same person anymore. And so it's hard for you to know whether or not you should trust them to give them another chance, or if you should let them in. um, you're really hesitant of like what their intentions are, or whether you should trust them again or not, or go down the same path with them. That's what you're wondering, is like, will this be like, since they're a different person now, will this be like a totally different thing, or will connecting with them take me right back down the same path that I went through connecting with them before? Am I just going to learn the same lessons and experiences all over again? Am I just like crazy and dumb for wanting to do this, or being so drawn to this? Or like, is my heart in the right place here? Or, am I just asking for more lessons? Or am I right to think that like, because this person's healed and grown and changed and matured, they're not the same person, they're not in this energy, there's something to where it's like they're a completely different person now, or like so much time has went on to where then you're like, well, maybe this could be like something completely different. But you're just not sure. So it could come down to like their willingness, or like how much they actually do take accountability for their actions in the past, what they did in the past, how much they impacted you, how much they hurt you. But it's like you're starting to see just a lot of like green flags, or just a lot of pluses, or like a lot of good things. So it's making you be like, huh, like at one time you could have been like, I'll never trust this person, I'll never let this person back in. And now you're seeing something in them that's like so different, that's causing you to be like, well, maybe, right? Like maybe I should, or maybe I would. Um, So they had to change because they had no choice. Um, they're showing up as the High Priestess in the reverse. Where they're at, we have the Ace of Swords and the Ten of Wands. So they could no longer continue on deceiving people, or like lying, or not being clear and upfront and authentic with others as far as where they're at, what they're doing, their intentions. It's like that they can no longer continue forward like that. It was creating too many burdens or like issues in their life. that went like unaddressed, or they ignored their problems for so long that it came to a place where they had no choice but to like look at their issues or look at their actions, look at what they were doing. They couldn't continue forward like that anymore. Like they completely like burnt out, or like burnt all of their bridges around them, or yeah, they completely ignored their issues or just like let stuff go to the wayside or go to the unseen for so long that eventually all of that stuff came back up again, and they're being forced to like deal with it or face it. So they could be like, they had a lot of people coming up against them. They're having to defend themselves against a lot of like hate, or a lot of people who are really passionate and worked up here. um yeah, I mean, you're just hearing like they burned too many bridges, or like they deceived like one too many people or something, and then like everyone kind of turned on them. So they had to like go into isolation and like go within and work on themselves. It's like they were forced into a position of like they really had no defense or like no leg to stand on, because they know like they really have hurt a lot of people in the past, and so they were forced into this position to like go within and look at and address like all of these things within them that they've been like ignoring and not looking at, not addressing, not working through. So they realized how like emotionally stunted they were, like they were really like held back, or they were a lot farther away from their goals than they wanted to be. Or it's like they looked in the mirror one day and they were like, wow, I'm not even the person that I thought that I was, or I'm not even anywhere near where I thought I would be in my life at this point. It's like where they wanted to be in life was so far away from like where they actually were. And they realized they wasted so much time like deceiving people or like lying to people, that if they would have spent that time going within and looking at themselves and working on themselves, then they would already be like where they want to be at in their life. And so it's like whenever everybody kind of came at them and was like forcing them to be like accountable for their actions, they almost kind of like gave into this or surrendered to this or like allowed this to happen. It's like they felt as though they deserved it or something. They went through something very specific here, some sort of chaos, or they've gotten a lot of pushback in their life, that they've had the humility to like stand up and be like, yeah, I deserve that. Like I was in the wrong. um so really interesting. But it's like because they're able to see that they're not, it's like where they want to be in their life, the stability they want in their life is so much further away from like where they're at right now. And then they realize like, if I continue to move forward in this way, then I'm not ever going to get there, because I'm trying to carry the weight of like all of these horrible things that I've done, and I'm going to have to like stop and unpack this and like actually go within and look at this and deal with this, instead of just ignoring it and carrying it around with me as baggage. Because then in every situation he has to like orchestrate how he's going to like get through to that person without them seeing like all of this baggage. And it was getting like more and more difficult. It was like holding them down like more and more. It's like they, again, they couldn't continue on or carry forward like that anymore, so they had no choice but to like make a change, stop what they were doing, look within, address all of this stuff. So their energy towards you, we have the Three of Wands and the Queen of Swords in the reverse. So you are another thing that is like really far away or out of touch. It's like if they desire to have like a higher level type of spiritual commitment with you, it's like they're so far away from being able to make that their reality or manifest that. With the Queen of Swords, it's also like you don't trust them. You could have had to set like really harsh boundaries with them. You guys could have gotten in like a big fight or had some sort of conflict that kind of brought to their attention or made them realize that because of the way that you perceive them or the way that you see them and the way that you operate with them at this point, that you're never, they're never going to be able to get the relationship to where they would like it to be. And so they're like realizing that they went about things like all wrong in order to gain your trust or to like build the connection, build the communication to where they can like go in the direction that they would want. It's like they ultimately want, they have like an end goal with where they would like to take the relationship. So they could have been like really immature in the past and use third parties or like use other people against you to try and make you jealous, but it's like this didn't actually make you jealous, it just turned you off and caused you to like want to cut them out or to like set a boundary with them, or it's like now you have less respect for them or the way that you perceive them is really harsh or negative. And so they're like, wow, now we're definitely never going to be able to get our relationship to this place that I wanted it to be. But it's like the only reason they were ever bringing third parties in or doing immature things like that was to like make you jealous or get a reaction out of you in order to try and get there quicker. But they're realizing like not only did that not work, but then it like ruined their chances of you like trusting them or respecting them or them being able to connect with you, or you don't even want to communicate with them. You could have cut them off in a really harsh or abrasive way, or um, they feel like you're going to or something. Their thoughts towards you with the temperance in the reverse, they feel like they made you really mad. Like they're aware that they got you really worked up, they made you really upset, but they feel like you're it's valid or justified that you're really upset with them, or they feel like if they try to come forward and communicate with you that you're just going to like go off on them and like everything you have to say is like completely valid and justified. So they feel like they need to kind of wait it out and come towards you in time. Like they almost want to like plant a seed and then wait and then like come towards you in time whenever you could potentially grow to see them differently, or like maybe things could heal in time and then you would like not have the same perception of them and then you could grow from there. They just feel like they need to be really patient and like wait it out, because the way that you feel right now or the way that you see them or whatever's going on right now is like completely valid or justified. Like they totally understand where you're coming from, or they see how their energy has like affected you in that way or caused you to react the way that you have. And so they're like, okay, I just need to be like really patient and continue to like nourish the situation, or like um they may like want to try to work on things and like prove themselves to you. And so in their perspective they're like, okay, I just need to be like really patient and continue to like put in the work and like plant the seeds and like show up and show them that I have genuine intentions this time, or I'm coming from the right place. And they feel like eventually it will like grow into a better place, or eventually like if they have really solid intentions and they continue to show up consistently over time, then it's like eventually their efforts will start to come through to the surface, or like you'll start to see them in a different light. It's like the situation will start to grow into a better place, or you'll be able to like have some sort of new start in a new area or something in time. um yeah, they could be realizing that it's like you there's something to where like moving or transitioning or like trying to go to like a different area or location could have like a fresh start. So they feel like if they're just really patient they could do that with you in time or something. Okay, so we're gonna get some zodiac signs. So we have the Six of Earth, Moon in Taurus. So the Six of Earth, I always feel like there's kind of like an unfair exchange of give and take. So this person could be a Taurus. It's like they could be really stubborn. We also have Virgo, the Hermit, and the Seven of Fire, Mars in Leo. So the Seven of Fire, that's very fitting because that's like what they're doing right now is like they're trying to kind of stand their ground against like all this chaos or people kind of coming at them, if you will. So they could be isolating in order to protect themselves. They could be kind of self-sabotaging. There's this energy to where it's like they've kind of isolated away, or it's like sometimes whenever you isolate and you don't like show people like what's going on, then they kind of create like their own story, and they could be in this energy of like not wanting to prove anything different, or you could too, just be in this energy of like wanting to protect yourself, and it's like not even needing to like prove to anyone else like you're a good person. It's like if you've heard negative things about me, just go ahead and believe them and stay away from me. Like I'm just trying to focus on myself and heal, and I'm not like concerned about like proving myself right, or like my image, or what other people think happened in the situation. So let's see, what would this person say to you? I hope you'll wait for me. So that makes a lot of sense with the Seven of Pentacles and their feelings. They really do feel that they need to kind of grow and work on themselves and heal from the immaturity from the past. And so they're really hoping, or they feel like you will wait for them, but they're hoping that you will as well. Or they feel like just being patient until the future is the best. And so they're hoping that you'll wait, essentially. If I asked you to stay, would you leave? I imagine you naked, and please give me time. I've never felt this way before. You could have been a big part of like what's triggered them to want to like change and grow and just be more aware of themselves and how they affect others. I could be your hero, baby. Footloose just came to mind. So that could be relevant for somebody. Movie Footloose. So we'll get some oracle cards, some advice from Spirit. Fly free, detach. You're longing to be untethered from what doesn't serve you any longer. A carefree possibility beacons you to release attachment to outcomes and people. Freedom is yours for the taking. Surrender to the process and let go of expectations. Winds of change, courage. Allowing change can open up your world in ways you could have never imagined. Dare to live courageously and soar above the clouds to discover new ideas, new people, and new outlooks, to see your world in an expanded way. Denial, deception. There is a situation that you're refusing to see clearly. Living in denial can create false scenarios to see things that are not accurate. Have the courage and discernment to dig deep into the truth of the situation. Balance needed. Relationships. Make sure all of your relationships are equal in balance with giving and receiving. If not, if they are out of rhythm, then the other is sacrificing and can't sustain itself. Therefore, it will create more obstacles to overcome. Know you are worthy and deserving respect in all ways. So that makes a lot of sense here with what was on the bottom of the deck with our signs. So on the bottom of the deck, we have fire, and the advice is let it go. And then we have familiar and shore, and the advice is be ready for change and be with family. So if you're having to let something go, it's really difficult. Being with family can help get you emotionally adjusted to the changes that lie ahead. Because winds of change and be ready for change. That's two cards talking about change specifically. We have unlimited possibilities and death. So I'm going to read both of those for you. When fall turns to winter, the leaves fall from the trees, birds fly south, plants go dormant, some even die, having lived the life they were meant to. Do we ever panic and wallow in the fear that that was it? There will never be another robin singing. There will never be another ripe tomato. No, we don't. Why is that? We know that after winter, spring will return, followed by the bounty of summer. It is so in your life. At any given time, there are unlimited possibilities for you and yours, many different paths to take, and many different options available. Do not get bogged down into thinking in a linear fashion. Open your eyes and your heart and feel the power your free will and choice brings to you. Make your life what it is meant to be. Death is scary. Endings, whether they are planned or a surprise, are most often accompanied with a sense of anxiety, unease, or more strongly with denial and refusal to let go of the person, relationship, or situation that is ending. Endings always signify beginnings. As a new beginning card, this urges you to let go gracefully. Do not attach yourself to the emotions and the energy of what is ending. Feel it, experience it, and then let it go. A slight shift in perspective is sometimes all that is needed to experience this transition with grace and ease instead of thinking, oh no, I have to start all over. Shift your perspective slightly to thinking, yay, I get to start all over. This shift will raise your energetic vibrations and carry you through this time of change. This card can also signify the ending of a troublesome situation. So yeah, the advice here from Spirit definitely all shifted into this period of like detach yourself, allow things to shift, see things as they need to, be open for change, be ready to let things go. Yeah, and so I'm just really remembering how it's like they feel as though there's not a lot they can do right now, or they can't come forward to be with you right now, or it's like you wouldn't believe them, or it's like they need to go through their process in order to like truly be able to take accountability and understand how much they've affected you. It's like they could be just starting out on their journey, if you will, and so it's like they could have just like a lot more that they need to go through personally before they're ready to meet you on your level or give back to you the way that you deserve. Yeah, it's like they just it's like even though they're not in the same place of like wanting to purposely deceive people anymore, and they see their actions or they understand where other people are coming from, it's like they're not, it's like it's going to take them a long time to fully change, and they're like aware of that. And so they're aware that they need to like go within themselves, work on themselves, nurture themselves. But they feel like maybe in time things could come back around, or like if they plant certain seeds in their life, then like things in time, things could like sprout into something new or grow into something new, if you will. So yeah, that's their feelings, and their thoughts are like completely understanding like why you feel the way you do, or like why you said the things you did, why you cut them out, or like why, like if you kind of got like abrasive or out of pocket, or like finally like express your boundaries in a really expressive way, or in a way that was like almost kind of like maybe forceful. It's like they totally get it, like they're not offended, like they totally understand. They feel like it's going to take a lot of time for healing, or they have a lot of growing to do before they're ready to come towards you and offer you what you deserve, essentially. um so yeah, spirit is definitely, a lot of these cards were bringing up change here, and just you're longing to be untethered from what doesn't serve you any longer. So it's like a carefree possibility beacons you to release attachment to outcomes and people. Freedom is yours for the taking. Similar to what it said at the death card, at the end of the death card. How it's like, yeah, it may not look like it right now, but this is just an opportunity for you to shift your life in a different way. You have like more power and control in the situation than you realize. Yeah, the know you are worthy and deserving of respect in all ways. So yeah, that's a wonderful reminder from Spirit. So that's all I have for pile 3. Taking a look into the person on your mind. What would they say to you? So if you'd like a more personal reading, you can use the link in my description. But if not, thank you so much for watching this far into the reading. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really great day.